Alrighty. Friday, and what we just reviewed was disjoint versus overlapping. And we talked about on Friday that a compound event is an event where it says either event A or event B. It can also say event A and event B. So disjoint and overlapping includes the word or. Okay? When you see the word or, that indicates that you're going to add the probabilities together. Okay? Today we're going to be focusing on independent versus dependent. And with these events, you're going to see something like this. The probability of event A and event B. Okay? When we see the word and, this is going to indicate multiplying. Okay? So, first things first, an independent event. We talk about this. This shows up in science. This shows up anytime we do an experiment. When we have an independent variable or an independent event, independent means that it does not affect the outcome of a following event. So my first event, so event A, if it is independent, will not affect the outcome of a second event. So it's like choosing an ice cream cone, whether you want waffle or a cake cone, and then choosing whether you want vanilla or chocolate. Choosing a waffle cone does not decide that you have to have vanilla or chocolate. Okay? So they're completely independent. One does not affect the other. Okay? So, this would be something like having a, we'll say an orange number cube actually we'll call it a die. It's like saying that we have an orange die and a blue die. Okay? Whatever I roll on the orange die is not going to affect what I roll on the blue die. These would be independent. So if I said that I want the probability of rolling a 3 on the orange die and rolling an even on the blue die, these would be independent. So, if I rolled a 3 on a die, what is my probability of getting a 3 on the orange die? How many times does 3 show up on a die? Once out of 6 values. Okay? And then I need to figure out what is the probability of getting an even on the blue die. So how many times does an even show up on the blue die? An even shows up 3 times. Okay? But because we have this word and, this indicates that we are going to multiply these two events together. So when I multiply fractions, I multiply the top numbers. So 1 times 3 gives me 3. 6 times 6, that gives me 36. And again, we can just put that right into a calculator and have the calculator do it for us. So again, you're just going to put the top number in. 3, hit your fraction button. 36. You have it reduced to 1 over 12. Okay? So that means out of 12 rolls with those 2 die, you have a chance that one of those rolls could result in a 3 and an even with those corresponding die. Okay? So I would like you to try to find the probability of rolling a 5 on an orange die and a 1 or a 2 on the blue die. So what is the probability of getting 5 and a 1 or a 2 on the blue?